I, I wanted to talk through a trade that I took yesterday on Thursday. What was it yesterday? Thursday, the 17th of April. And I put a pending long trade at 33.27.5. I mean, really, it was premature because price hadn't closed above this. It had on the 1 minute chart, but not on the 15-minute chart. So there was no close above this high. You can see it, by the time I posted this, the trade had triggered. And this is where the trade triggered here. Now, you can see it was a trade that didn't work out. And like I said, my entry was on this line here. And we can see price tried to push up, but it failed. So, you know, when you see price failing to close above this high, and you've just got wicks poking through, I mean, you're going to get out at break even. You know, you're not going to keep trying. I mean, it's had 1, 2, 3 attempts to break higher, and it's not succeeded in doing so. So, you know, just get out at break even. And this is, I didn't take this trade, but it's a trade I would have taken if I'd been around. Because you can see here at this level where I was going long, price is rejecting off of here. It didn't drop very far because price needed to come back up into this level again. So price came down and then pushes up into this level, and we get this 15-minute engulfing bar. Now, once I see price then, you know, rejecting off of here, we don't get any. Well, we do get a close higher there, but what you'd be doing, you'd be looking at the rejection that came here. See, price has been rejecting off of this level, so you'd be going in short here. You know, once I see price rejecting off of here, that's me looking to go in. And this, I did put a pending long trade in. What was it? 32.92.5. And as you can see, it just failed to trigger. This was after I saw price pushing. Well, I came in and price was already doing this. This had already broken through, but you see price has failed to make new lows here, and then price breaks through and closes above the previous high. So then I was looking at putting a pending order in here, and we can see price just failed to trigger the trade. I mean, what I'd be looking at probably on Monday is maybe price coming up, because we can see there's a lot of supply in this area, and you know, this is an all-time high up here, and we've got the 33.50 half number. So, you know, we could be getting a rejection off of this level, but it doesn't always work like that. Because when was it? See, here's another trade I took. You see, I saw this price breaking down through here, so I set my pending order here, And as we can see, price failed to break lower. So you can see I had 1, 2, 3 attempts to get out at break even. And if you're not out at break even after, you're getting higher lows here. If you're not out after this, you deserve to have your stop hit. I mean, it was obvious that price wasn't going to go in my direction, so you just get out. Like I said, don't get too attached to a trade. Go with price, not with what you think. And you can see price doesn't want to drop here. I just got it wrong. You just got to accept that and move on. Because what I have done since Trump has introduced his tariffs, and the markets last week were going berserk, I've widened my stop and my target because the volatility has increased. It's at least doubled. Because this is where Trump was introducing his tariffs. That on a day like that, you can see, how much movement has been. From the blue line to the black line is 50 pips. So you can see there's a lot of pips involved there. You go back prior to tariffs, and price looks more like this. Price is doing more of this. See, there's a lot less volatility involved. So I have, like I said, I've doubled my stop and doubled my target. But what I'm showing here, you can see price is rejected from here, and it's failed to come back and fill all this gap in that was left here. And maybe it won't come back and fill it and just drop, and there again it might just shoot through, because there was the same situation here on, see, this was Monday, and we can basically see from Friday through to Monday, price just succeeded in making a slightly new high here, and then price failed to come back and fill this. And you can see, price just shot straight through this and kept going up. So it's not necessarily, price isn't necessarily going to drop from here, but it's an area worth watching to see how price reacts when it gets here. And here on Wednesday, we can see Tuesday, volatility dropped off, and the markets were just playing with people. I mean, I was waiting to take a trade at this level where we had this gap in price here, this inefficient move out. We had all this efficiency here, and then we had liquidity forming underneath these lows, and then price just popped back and just triggered my entry. You see the entry I got here is exactly what I was trying to get here when price just didn't come back and trigger, whereas there it did. And where was it? Yeah, on Monday I got in at this price, and you can see price just wanted to go a bit lower, before it started to go up. I mean, all this is basically is supply and demand. You can see there's a level of efficiency behind. Price pops and leaves inefficiencies in price as it moves out of here. Price comes back, fills it in, and off it goes again. And you see on Wednesday, I was working on Wednesday, and I'd left for work by this time. I was waiting for price to pop back into here to see about taking a trade, and of course price never came back. And then we get price popping out of here. We get this relative zone of efficiency. Price pops, and then you can see price comes back in, get into a trade here. See, price pops, comes back in. Price pops, comes back in, pops again, and then eventually we get through this high. And it was after this high was when I got into this short trade that didn't work out. And the reason I was getting in here, what was this? This was 6 o'clock UK time. So I thought, well, at the end of the day, maybe price will be falling back into here to pick up any orders left behind. But of course it didn't. It had other ideas and continued to climb. And we can see here yesterday, you know, we have price coming out of here. I was waiting to, I wasn't, because what time was this? It was 5:30. See, by the time I was up, which was about this time, 6:15, price had already started dropping off of here. You see, and I saw this level where price popped out. You see, price pops back into here and starts going, and that's what drew me in to go in long here. But of course price didn't want to go long. You see what it did? Came back in and filled this in, and then it went. That, you know, there's going to be liquidity building above these highs here. So price could well, you know, pop up above these highs, pick up any liquidity that might be here and start to drop again. But I mean, now I'm going to watch price come up into this level and see how it reacts. You know, if it starts reacting like this kind of thing, it gets here and it can't get through and it keeps rejecting off of this spot, then obviously there's still orders here and you can see about taking a short trade. If price does what it did here in the early hours of Wednesday, you can see there was nothing here for me really to, well, I wasn't even awake at this time. But there would have been nothing here for me to go short of, because, you know, we've just got bullish bars coming out of here. There's nothing bearish. And I think that was what they played for, is because this took off on the through the Asian market, that of course, you know, there's more retail traders, you know, trading London and New York, and this just went without me. I did move my target out and I held through to the next day, which I don't usually do, but I was quite confident price was going to go up at least into here, at least up into this level, which it did, you know, easily. But you know, when price continues going up like this, I don't get frustrated and think, well, why didn't I just hold on to the trade? Because that isn't part of my trading plan. You know, I trade the short-term daily swings, swing movement within a day, and you know that can be going long, going short, going long. I'm just, you know, trading the swings within the daily price movement. But anyway, hopefully that's helped somebody get some clarity on what it is I'm doing. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.